We are live. I'm here with my father. He's a huge Vikings fan. And we're just going to discuss about the season and the next game tomorrow and what he feels. So, I know the season's 1-4, but how do you feel about that? What do you expect of them, and what did you expect of them beginning of the year?
Well, at the beginning of the year, I expected them to be better than 1-4, but things happened. First of all, it's 2020, and we all know what's going on there, but we didn't expect Daniel Hunter to be out for the season, the defensive end, right defensive end, with a neck injury. Michael Pierce, our free agent that we picked up in the off season, he opted out of the season because of the COVID. Evidently, he has asthma, so he was concerned about doing the season with asthma, and he had that choice, like every player in the NFL did, and he chose to opt out of the season. So those are two starters on our defensive line.
So every player was able to have a choice of opting out?
Of the season.
What does opting out mean?
It means that they can take the season off and not get. They only got a very, very, very minute salary paid for the season, but it's pennies to them guys, but they had the choice to opt out.
Yep. Okay.
So Michael Pierce did that. Daniel Hunter is hurt. So we're missing two starters off our defensive line. So that doesn't help, because we knew we were going to have rookie corners. But anybody that's a football fan knows that if your defensive line is really good, which it should have been, with Pierce and Hunter there, it would have helped take the pressure off of our corners.
Yes.
Well, those two are missing, so now our two corners are struggling a little bit. They're getting better, but they're rookies.
Yep.
And then we had no off season, no training camp, no preseason.
Oh, they just threw them in there, huh?
None of that was allowed. It was all virtual video. Well, you're not going to learn virtual video like you are going to be on the field.
Yeah, no, you're not.
So this season is a struggle, which is I'm okay with. If this is the year that they're going to struggle, I would rather have it be this year.
Yeah.
Then we lost Barr, our starting linebacker, for the season. So I guess the way I look at this season is, like I've been telling everybody I talk to, this is more of a season of preseason.
Yeah.
Let the rookie corners get experience. So by the end of the year, they've got a full year under their belt. Let our rookie wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, who I think is going to be, give him a couple years, and he'll be a top 3 receiver in the NFL.
What's his name?
Justin Jefferson. So you got that to look forward to. The 2 rookie corners, I think we're going to be fine in the future. But as far as this year is concerned, I don't care what their record is. It doesn't matter to me. It's a season of preseason is how I look at it. As a fan, that's tough to swallow, but
yes.
I don't think we really have a choice right now.
Yeah.
So
how are the rookies actually doing?
Well, Justin Jefferson, the wide receiver, the rookie, the first couple games, he was kind of non-existent. But now the last 3 games, he is getting visibly better. He'll be just fine. I really believe he'll be a top-notch receiver one day, probably as soon as next year. The rookie corners are struggling. That's to be expected, I guess. It's tough to be a rookie in the NFL to begin with, and then to be a corner, you have to cover the wide receivers who know where they're going, and they don't, and you just have to learn the techniques. And I have all the faith in the world in Zimmer that he'll get it right and teach them just fine. So they'll be fine by the end of the year and going into next year. So
what do you think the game's going to end up tomorrow? Do you think they're going to win?
Well,
since Falcons are 0-5.
I'm not sure how I think about this. There's two ways to look at it. You have the Falcons are 0-5.
Yep.
But they just fired their head coach and they just fired their general manager.
Oh, did they?
So they have an interim head coach taking over.
Huh.
That can go one of two ways. All the players can be fired up for that interim coach, thinking maybe they really like him, and they can play way better than they have been, which that ain't good as far as the Vikings are concerned. Or you go the other way and just they play like they have been and we win. I don't know what to think. It's I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure, but to be honest with you, either way doesn't matter to me.
When is kickoff tomorrow?
I believe it's at noon.
Noon. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
at noon we'll find out. So, what do you think of the rest of the season? Do you think they're actually going to possibly get better and maybe possibly make it to the playoffs? Maybe.
Well, interesting question, because they added an extra playoff team this year in each conference. So instead of having 6 teams in the NFC and 6 teams in the AFC, there's now 7 in the AFC and 7 in the NFC that'll make the playoffs. So they added an extra team in each conference.
Okay.
So, I don't know what that record's going to take to get that 7th spot in the NFC. But, I'm guessing they would have to probably win. I would guess they'd have to win at least 7 games to even have a shot at getting that 7th spot. I would guess even a shot. So that's 6 more wins. I don't know that they can get 6 more wins. But not with their situation that they're in right now, with their injuries and all of that. But you never know, because teams in the past have gone on 5, 6, 7, 8 game win streaks.
Yeah.
And it could happen.
Yeah.
It could happen because they're not a bad football team, so to speak, for a 1-4 team. But when you're 1-4, you're a bad football team.
Yeah.
They just got to figure out how to win.
Statistically, they are. But
Yeah. They should have beaten Seattle, and by not beating Seattle proved to me they're not a good team, because they should have beat Seattle. They should have not allowed Seattle to win. They had Seattle. They could have got the first down on the 7-yard line, and that would have iced the game. And then when they didn't do that, they should have stopped them before they had to score a touchdown. They didn't do that. So they're not a good team, but for a 1-4 team, they're not 4 years away.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to get some players back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And get the routine back.
Yeah.
Well, coronavirus kind of.
Remember how to win.
Yeah. What else do I want to ask here? So, do you think? So, who are like the most important players on the team right now? Then, do you think? Like, who's the quarterback again?
Kirk Cousins.
Okay, he's quarterback again. I forgot. I didn't realize that was. Is he doing actually better than last year? Because I heard a lot about last year. He was not the greatest, but.
Well.
Controversy.
I don't know. Kirk is Kirk. I don't think he's any better than he was last year or any worse. I think it just depends on what's going on around him.
Oh yeah.
He is trying to. He's really trying to get better at moving around in the pocket more, so that's, I know he's working on that. The most important players on the team as far as this year are concerned, you've got Delvin Cook, the running back, who now is going to miss tomorrow's game.
Oh, is he?
With a groin injury. But that's okay. They got Madsen, who is the backup, who, he's a good back.
Who's their halfback?
Madsen is their halfback, and Cook.
Oh, okay.
Ham is their
fullback.
On offense, of course, the 2 running backs, the receivers, I think, like I said earlier, with Jefferson being the rookie and then Adam Thielen, the veteran, I think you're going to have, those are 2 top-notch receivers. So I think their receivers are I mean, not only on the Vikings are they the top players, but in the league they're probably, you know, they're in the top 10 as far as the total league is 2 receivers.
Oh, really?
So, and then on defense, well, you got Harrison Smith, who's basically a leader of that defense now, especially with Barr gone. Kendricks is good on defense as the linebacker. So there's a lot of good players. Like I said, they're 1-4. They're a bad team, but you know, really they got good players.
Statistically, they're a bad team.
Yeah, they won't be bad for, you know, years to come. It's just this year might be a struggle.
Half the year might even be a struggle, and the other half might be a good one.
Well, right.
You never know.
The second half of the season, they could win 80% of their games.
Mm-hmm.
They do that, well, yeah, different story.
Just gotta get those rookies comfortable.
Yeah.
Basically. Well, let's see. I think that's all we need to talk about actually at the moment. But let's hope they. So 12 o'clock is kickoff tomorrow.
12
right?
o'clock.
They versus the Falcons. Is that home game or away game? I don't know.
It's in Minneapolis at US Bank Stadium, yes. And the only fans that are allowed tomorrow.
Oh, there's fans that are allowed?
Well, the only fans that are allowed are families of the players. So
that's actually cool. That's pretty cool.
So about 300 people will be in there. In a stadium that holds about 64,000.
And since they're family, they're probably going to still sound like 64,000 people.
No.
No, probably not.
Not in that place.
Not in that place, no. I guess I've never been. I don't think I've ever been to the new place. Have you?
No. I've been there quite a few times, yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you went last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
What games did you go to last year?
I don't remember. I don't remember what games I went to, but yes, I've been there a few times.
Okay.
So.
Okay, well, 12 o'clock kickoff, and let's hope the Vikings win. And, well, if you guys subscribe and push the like button, we'll do this more often.
Please do. I enjoy this.
This is fun. This actually was fun. So, peace out, guys.
And we can talk about more than football, too.
And we will. And we definitely will.
Yeah.
We definitely will. All right. I think that was 20 minutes.